Hey everybody, Erica Serwin here from Pink Buckaroo Designs. Happy New Year! A new year means a new catalog, and Stampin' Up! Has just released their 2019 Occasions catalog as well as the 2019 Celebration catalog. During Celebration, which is January, February, and March, you get a free item from this catalog whenever you purchase $50 or $100 either from this catalog or the annual catalog. And today I'm going to show you a project featuring one of those free stamp sets. It's in this Celebration catalog. You'll find our little froggy friend right here on page 13. It's called So Hoppy Together, and it's one of my favorites in the catalog. They're just so cute. How can you not love those frogs? I also decided to turn it into a Valentine card by using the Meant to Be bundle. This is in the Occasions catalog. So when you buy the bundle and maybe a bolt of ribbon, you'll have reached your $50 mark and you can get him this whole stamp set for free. All right, so let's go ahead and get started making our cute little frog friend. I have decided to color him in with my aqua painter. An aqua painter is like a paintbrush marker. It's filled with water, and here on the tip you've got a paintbrush, and as I squeeze out from here, that water that I filled it up with, the water will come out of this tip right here. I am going to stamp him in StazOn. StazOn is an ink that will not run when you watercolor with it. So you want to use, if you're going to use black, you want to use StazOn instead of Memento. And I'm going to stamp him this time on shimmer white paper. When you are using water and you're using your aqua painter, you want to either use shimmer white cardstock or watercolor paper. The regular white paper will pill the more water you put on it, so it's best to use either this shimmer white or watercolor. Now we're going to color him with Call Me Clover, and you can see I have ink here in the lid, but the other option to get your ink is to take your clear black and stamp it there on your ink, and you are ready to color. Now you want to make sure that your brush tip isn't drippy. If it's drippy, your water will go all over the place, your ink will go all over the place, and as you can see, his skinny little legs here need you to have really good control over your color. I went ahead and just colored him with just water at first. That'll help the watercolor just really kind of spread and just take over as we go. You could also color him. We have Call Me Clover Stampin' Blends, but I was in an aqua painter kind of mood, so we're just going to color him in with the aqua painter. I am not squeezing any water as I go. Whatever water was on the tip here of my aqua painter and the little layer of water I put down was plenty. All right, so we're gonna just color him in very carefully. Try to stay in those lines. The good thing about this one is that we're gonna fussy cut him. So if we get out of the lines, it won't be too big of a deal. Now you could leave him like that, but I'm gonna go back with some more ink and make his little belly here a little bit darker. Add a little bit of dimension to him with that darker color. And I'm also going to put a little bit of darker color under his mouth and a little bit under his glasses. I'm trying to not get his eyeballs. It's a little bit hard, especially while I'm trying to keep my head out from under the camera. All right, there we go. He's so cute. Now I think he needs a little bit more here on his legs. Okay, now we're done. For the sake of the video, I'm going to dry him real quick so that we can cut him out. You can let him dry on his own, which would be just fine. It wouldn't take too long, but I'm just going to hit him with a heat tool and make sure he's nice and dry before I start cutting him out. All right. Now, when you are fussy cutting something that doesn't have a framelit, the first thing you want to do is cut off as much cardstock as you can. That'll help you handle it a little bit better. Then you want to make sure you're using a really good sharp pair of scissors And I like a small pair of scissors because it helps you get into these little nooks and crannies a little bit easier. If you're using a large pair, it's a little bit more difficult. And as you can see, as you go, cut off that extra cardstock. When you have cardstock that's just kind of hanging, it makes it a little harder. I always stay outside of the line, the black line. I'm also going to cut off that little part of his glasses because it would be hard to cut around that, and I think it'll be fine without it. So I'm just staying right outside the black line, leaving a little bit of a white border. That will help the eye only see the black line and not necessarily your cutting, because sometimes our cutting isn't perfect. And I know some people don't like to fussy cut because they feel like their cutting doesn't look good. But with this little trick, it'll be just fine because they'll only notice that black line. His little legs are quite skinny. We have to be very careful, or we'll have a missing frog leg, which I almost did when I was trying to pull that off. There we go. He's cute. All right, now we need to, let's see, let's go ahead and finish our stamping. I've got a piece of Whisper White here, and I'm using the sentiment from that Meant to Be stamp set, and I'm using Flirty Flamingo ink. So we've got Call Me Clover and Flirty Flamingo. And this is a 1-inch piece of cardstock. It doesn't really matter how long it is because we're going to cut it down to fit where we want it. I'm using the Tailor Tag Punch here. That way I can see I have a little bit better control over where I'm punching that. And then we're going to cut off some of this. We may need to cut off more in a little bit, but we're going to put it behind that heart. All right, now let's do some of our die cutting. Let me make some space here so I don't get ink on everything. That would be a disaster. All right, so bring over your Big Shot, and we're going to cut out 2 Flirty Flamingo hearts. We're going to use this heart right here, which you can see has some stitching on it, and then this heart right here, which is a solid heart, and it's going to cut out a heart that fits nicely right inside of the bigger heart. So start with your large heart on the cardstock, and we can actually, if we make room, we can actually do these both at the same time. Then your Flirty Flamingo Designer Series paper on the smaller heart. And we're going to run these through. Just like that. And let's take a look. I can pick them up. There's our solid heart, and there's our super cute stitched heart. I love any framelits that are stitched. All right, now we're going to cut out this little line of hearts, also from the Meant to Be stitched framelits, or the Be Mine stitched framelits, and we're going to cut it out of Call Me Clover. It's going to be the same color as our card base. It's going to cut out all these little hearts, but it's also going to cut out the outline of all these little hearts. And the outline will be easiest to adhere if we put on adhesive on our cardstock before we cut it out. So these are the multi-purpose adhesive sheets that you can find in the annual catalog. And I peeled off that backing, and I'm going to put that on there. Now I'm going to put this back on just right here. And I'm going to trim off those ends because I don't want that sticky stuff there on my Big Shot. So let's just trim that off, and then we'll take that. There we go. All right, now put your line of hearts on here on your Big Shot. And I prefer to put it so that it's going through long ways rather than up and down. They'll get a little bit more pressure, a little more time in the Big Shot, if you will, if you put it long ways. So I'm going to run it through couple of times just for good measure, and then let's see what we have. You can look on the back. Yep, looks good. And if I drop it, sometimes they'll pop out. Yep, see how they're popping out? But you can also just get your die brush or your scissors and punch out all these little hearts. Here, take your pick tool is great for this too. Let's see, do I have it handy? I do. Here's your take your pick tool. Take off your spatula end and turn it around. and snap it in there. And you can use this little pointy end to get this off. All right, and then we can get all these out. If you have the Big Shot die brush, this is a great piece to use the die brush on. All right, so we're gonna save this. We're gonna move that over there with our hearts. Let's get all these guys over. And our little frog is gonna be holding a shimmer heart. And I don't need to cut the whole thing because I just need one. So I'm just gonna do it right here on the end. Bring him back and let's see what we've got. I could take my pick of which size hearts I want. I think I'll punch out that big one and I'll save those for another project. All right, we are ready to put our cute little card together. So this is a Call Me Clover card base. It is a half sheet of cardstock cut in half on the 11-inch side. So you would cut it 5.5 by 8.5. And I'm gonna start with, let's leave it open so it'll lay flat. I'm gonna start with this line of hearts. Remember, we put those multi-purpose adhesive sheets on the back, so now it's a sticker. So all I have to do is peel that off and put it right here, like that. Then I'm gonna take my big heart, and let's adhere this before we put it on the card. But ooh, the polka dot is cute too. I'm going to put that there. Then I'm going to get my dimensionals and we're going to pop it up, of course. Put that there. And our little froggy, he needs to be popped up too. We'll put him down here like this. And our little sparkle heart, I'm going to use a mini dimensional on the back of this and put that down there like that. And then let's see, will that slide in? How did I have it? Yep, like that. Slide it in. Perfect. And of course we need a bow. We've got some Call Me Clover 1/8 inch grosgrain ribbon, which is perfect. I love the fact that the Stampin' Up! Accessories coordinate perfectly with our ink and our paper. It makes creating so easy. All right, glue dot there, and I'm going to put it like that. One last thing I want to show you that I did. I took my Wink of Stella and I colored in about every other heart here just to add a little more interest to our project. How sweet and fun is this card? Of course, you could change the sentiment. You could change it to anything you'd like, but I really liked that best friend sentiment. All right, that's it. What a fun card. Remember, that little froggy guy is only available as free with a $50 purchase. And this project was originally done during a Facebook Live, so the link here on YouTube will take you back to that post, and there's a PDF under the last photo, and there he is, and it has all of the product information that you need if you want to make this card. All right, you guys, thank you so much. Please let me know if you have questions. Bye.